Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My name is SP Jimmy, and today I'm going to be showing you some of the costumes that I have created. I've spent a lot of time in the costume maker, so we're going to go through each one of these and take a look. Some of them are like first drafts that I then went back and worked on later, so we might see a little progression there. I tried to name them something in order or something the same, but it might not be perfect. I haven't really looked through these in a while. I'm just going to go through the whole list. But what I did do is I was able to get my phone to be able to play the game. And I actually posted a guide online on the Reddit to that on the subreddit. But I was able to make some cool costumes when I was just hanging out on the couch, when I had some extra time. So I put a lot of work into these. These aren't my best up here at the top. But if I saved it, it meant it was something I was working on or something that I've played in the past. So let's talk about each of these. These ones I marked with the A because they were for one of my most recent characters, a controller that I was playing. I was just kind of messing around one morning and I put this one together here, and he had I like the head glow effect with the eyes there. I was able to make the skull a little bit longer down than you normally would be able to there, and I can actually show you how I did that through the full helmet and then critics and then detail 3 Tech Knight John. Then I added the detail 1 of the filtrators to kind of cover up the seam of that as well. When I make costumes, I always try to add seams or add different things that I can to make it look interesting. Here I have one of my supergroup costumes for the Nighthawks. We all have very similar costumes. We can make little adjustments and stuff, but this is my version for SP Jimmy that I play most of the time. Here's a version of the character that looks almost exactly like me, or as close as I could get, and I'm still working on that as well. I might do a face comparison later. It's not quite there, but it's pretty close to what I look like. I made a swim trunks version because I like to hang out in Ouroboros and just put my feet in the water. It was between the path aura bubbles and the dripping effect here. I like that he has sunscreen on his face, sunscreen on his hands. And I went for the zombies on the legs, so I wanted him to be a little bit thinner than what you would normally see people have. I thought that looked nice with the pants there. I might have wanted a flare to the pants, but I figured they were shorts. They might be wet and sticky, so they wouldn't be. This is a different chest here. This is the not the normal tank top. It's the, what do you call that, cybertech version with no tattoos. It's cool to put little tattoos and stuff on the wrists and stuff as well, but I put a little light blend to show that he had been applying sunscreen here. And then this is his general costume, or one of the first costumes I made him. He actually had a little butt cape before with a trench coat, the cybertech trench coat, but this is probably my favorite jacket that you can find, the cybertech jacket. I like the gloves because they were able to come off a little bit there. These are the Cosmic Corsair gloves, I believe. And then I like the little change in the resistance pants, but I saw a lot of people using the resistance pants here. They have a cool leg band that you don't get with many of the others, and I always wanted one of those, but I see too many people using it, so I changed it to something else later on. This is one of the shark things that I was working on. I have a lot of shark costumes, as you'll see. This was a Thugs shark version. Not my best. I don't like it as much. You'll see I added like a little shoulder thing here. This guy has fins on his arms that don't really match the texture of the rest of his body, so I swapped that out later. You'll see a repeat of these legs here with the little fin, and then these are both insectoid versions, broken up by the belt to try to give it a little bit better of a blend there. This is one of the later versions of the shark build that I have. It's a different path aura than I like. I like the path aura bubbles. Look, it's more effective. This is just a dripping version, but I use this when I turn down my graphics and don't want it lagging me out too bad. Now, it's hard. This is the resistance shoulder, and it was really hard to get this blue effect here. It doesn't work right. Look, if I change the color, it's a good thing I have this saved. I tried to make him look like he had water and support systems, and he was able to breathe. He has monstrous hands here, so not the fin from before, but I think it looks cool. Really thin legs. Little detail on the legs there as well. Now, if I go to the shoulder, if I change it from resistance single, I think it actually changes the color. Well, it's working now. For some reason, that wasn't changing before, and it was just stuck at like this horrible brown color, and I would make adjustments, and I could not, for the life of me, get it to change. Let me see if it's... it seems to be working now. Something was up with that, and it was bugging me so bad, but I was able to save it on him at least. Now there's a little different version here, a little more cyber on the shoulders and on the gloves. I think that's Praetorian Police, perhaps. Didn't really match the color set there, so I was still kind of building him at this point. But this shows like the amount of progression that I made just on one costume to try to mix it up and get something that I really liked out of it. And I hope that you guys are able to spend some time not just making new characters, but also updating the ones that you make, because you can make a lot of... This is like the first version of him. Yeah, I remember this one. I liked the kilt. I was trying to do something there. I changed that out for the water one that you saw later. Oh, that was an old version. I didn't like the color palette at all. I think this was the second version I made of him. And then you see, you know, what... Oh, look, I didn't even fix the legs with this one. All the different pieces. And then we get to something that I think looks a lot better here. This was the original fish monster idea that later became the shark guy. I really like the glowing in the gloves here. I can't really see that on when I turn the detail down as much, and you see a little bit of difference in the chest plate versus the rebreather. Change the color palette there a little bit. Now this one I liked a bit better than that previous one here, and I actually went on to make a version of the Nighthawks super group with this, so we'll see that one as well, I'm pretty sure. This is just a little character I made. I was trying to make like I had to get a PvP character, and I was like, oh, let me just do like a weird Batman who looks upset. Now I like a different chest plate better, and I think we'll see that in another character, but there is actually I can't, I'm on huge right now, so I can't check him in, but there's a smoother, I believe it's Imperial Dynasty chest plate that actually looks like the bat symbol, or pretty close, but you gotta have that aura of the bats in there. I made a Batman who laughs. I couldn't get the mouth palette the correct color that I wanted it with the big smile, but I was able to use the eye guards that look like they're almost made for that character. I see now that this needs to be a little bit more black on the ears that he has going up, but I thought it was close. I tried. I think I have zombie arms on him. Heavy bats. Didn't play that one much. I messed around with a couple of the female models because I never really did that when I was a kid and I was playing on live, and I don't really do it much now. And I can see, I thought I was so cool with this one. I was like, oh, all right, okay, what can I do that's a little bit different? Oh, I like that frilly thing. Oh, that thing down the back to cover up the legs. Okay, now that's about where it ended, because the time clock belt here, and then the corset, and then this top that really complements the corset. I thought I was so lucky. I was like, man, and then I put the binds on the back here for the corset, and I was like, man, I'm so lucky. I can't believe that looks so good. I saw like 6 people with the same exact top as this one for a while, and I was like, okay, never mind. I just picked Gunslinger for everything, so that was a mistake. It's the earlier version of that. This is a play on the Red Hood, and I have the full Red Hood one coming up, I believe, as well. Now, what's cool about this, this is just the Tech Knight helmet, and I thought it was really cool when I started playing it first. This guy was dual pistols. He looked awesome. But I see too many people using the Tech Knight, so I kind of retired him. I really like the spikes on the boots. I think it adds, like, he could kick you. Got the Gunslinger arms here with the leather jacket, and I like the Vanguard backpack. When you go for back detail, you do the Vanguard, not the jetpack version, and it looks really cool on a leather vest. So all my guys that have a leather vest have the Vanguard decal on the back, just to add a little bit more depth to the character. I like that he looked like he had straps going down around him here as well. I was trying to get that to work, so I had to pick these pants. And then he actually has the body armor, and I like the Arachnus symbol as well. And the shoulders here, I have these little spikes, and these parts of the shoulders are actually from the sleeve, so it looks like an all-new shoulder that nobody else has. Now, it really only works on the male. I tried it on female, I tried it on huge, and it doesn't line up right. So you can do that on the male. I think that's Gunslinger 2. 1 or 2. Another look at this one here that I was messing. I don't even think I took it very long. This is from a mobile game. I think was where I got the inspiration. I forget what it was called. You summon demons and have a bow and arrow. So I was like, oh, trick arrow. Never played it. This is one of my first characters, my first 50 actually, compulsive. He's dual pistols defender. It was pretty fun. I thought I went for like an Amish cyborg type deal, but I changed him up a lot later, especially because he had dual pistols and there was a lot of options for that. It says the Conspiracy. His name was actually the Inquiry, and it was my take on the Question from DC Comics as well. Now I noticed here that the skin palette's actually a little bit more orange than I would like, but it's really hard to fix that. And I tried to match the tie from the comics and stuff as well and put the little question mark there so people might get the reference. Now you want to get rid of the eyes and mouth as much as I could, but I tried to just show it there. Like, yeah, sure, it's a mask. Now this is really early on. I was just sort of messing around when I first got back into the game, and this is a take on a character that I made, and I was like, oh, let me add like a Pocket D version that I can go hang out with people. I like the tattoos. I never really do tattoos or grotesque characters, but I like the asymmetricalness of his face that doesn't line up, and I tried to get that across the body with the hand I thought the tie would be a little bit more off, but it's actually pretty even. Tried to make him look a little messy there. Another version of him with toxic vapors or tendrils coming out. I think this is what I ended up going with for a little while there. Not my best work. I think it's pretty generic, but I just wanted something that looked like he was gross and able to... He was like poison, I think. This is my Deathstroke that I did for my dual pistols. Changed up the black on the little scarf there, orange on the inside, so it looks like it's two colors, because I couldn't get the two colors to work with him right without doing the weird scarf. Was able to get his face, this is the half and half, the 50-50 here, and normally he has an orange patch over his eye. I was able to get rid of that with this little face plate right here. I like the texture of the top and the bottom there. It adds, I think it's Valkyrie, it adds a little bit of a quilted effect to the inside, and adds a little body armor up here at the top. So I think the Comic-Con farm that we're all familiar with has a similar version of Deathstroke, but I like mine a bit better. I think it probably would make the farm lag more, but he won't put his arms down, but he also has the awakened gloves, so there you go, which go up the arms. One of my favorite gloves, and we'll see those in other costumes as well. I think I used a picture for reference on that one too. Couldn't get the belt quite right, close as I could. Oh, did you see that? It changed to the scarf version. It was a funny glitch. Here's that guy again. We saw him. This is a combination as I was just kind of putting him together, try to give him a little bit of rags. Insectoid version, still got the asymmetrical face with the grotesque zombie growl. This was a character, I was like a shield electric. I wanted him to teleport around, hold the shield in one arm. Look like paddles or something like that. Didn't really play him, didn't really get around to it, but hey, I made an electric guy, make a little clockwork thing. I never really went back to work on him, but he does have the rocket boots with that cool effect if he were to get fly or to raise up. But now I notice he actually doesn't have a belt, so I didn't think I finished him. Oh, there you go. There's the one with the belt. Boom. Changed it up a little bit, made the hand match. And I think that's all I changed between the two. I think I like that a little bit better. Probably why it's the second one I made. I made well, this isn't Invader Zim, but I called him I'm Zim, because I was trying to get to save. I noticed his face is a little bit off here, so I would change that up. But this was my idea for a, like, Pleakley Herman, I don't know. I thought he would look like a child's TV actor who was an alien controlling their minds, and he was going to be like a robot mastermind. This is a little jean jacket that I put together. You see aspects of the Red Hood costume here as well at the bottom over here with these shoulders, but I did a little color palette swap and changed the hood so I could use him on any character. If I just wanted like a generic starter character, boom, jean jacket. Alright, threw on a jacket, threw on some clothes, went out to kick some butt. Here is one of my this is my Warshades starting outfit. I changed it to make him into the fish guy later. Like a Nyctus infused fish guy, but this was my take on like how big and bad can I make this Baron guy. I want to give him the Lord Recluse helmet. I thought that was fun. I hadn't really made a big nasty guy up to this point, and that was my chance. He was like maximum height. This is oh, it looks like the version of the Joker or the Batman Who Laughs, but with the color palette fixed a little bit more on the face, and then higher bats. Here's my take on the Joker. I use those pants that everybody's using, the blue jeans. I was looking at photos and I found that this is most similar to a vest that he would wear. You could swap the color palette around, orange, green, purple. I was trying to get it to work, and this is what I came up with. And then he has those freaky eyes from, I think it's like a detail one you can get on the face to give him those really deep set eyes. I actually reversed the color palette on the face and or on the mask here to give him those big bright lips that you see. I'm really proud of this one. Kind of actually freaks me out when I play him because I had the dual pistols with little knives at the bottom. It was perfect. I tried to give him a little flower, a little squirty flower there. It was as close as I could get. Yeah, go ahead and cover it. I don't like the shoes too much, but high heels, I guess. Haha. Could also give him like something to hold, something big and funny like a sign he could swing around. That'd be cool. But I did him with my dual pistols as well. This is one of my other Nighthawk costumes. You'll see a bunch of these coming up. Actually, I think I named them all similar. Here's my Atlantean guy. Trying to make him up. My female version. It's a vampire. I think white medical. So different colors for him. Oh, that's the starter one that I used. This is actually one that I saw someone else use online. I was like, oh, that looks really cool. So I tried to recreate it, and it looked like, I called him Apocalypse, like Apocalypse and Lex Luthor combined. there's probably a better face to fit in there. I tried to get the little eyebrow like like a Luther face, but I think adjusting the size and shape of the face would give you a better little personality in there. I like the little extra detail. I was just doing costumes. This is one of my first ones that I made as well. This also has the glowing gloves, the electricity on the eyes. You'll see these pants were in other costumes as well. Got to use the vest that a lot of people use, so I think it's a little bit overused at this point. But I always have him on my back pocket as well. Really the only character I use this big backpack for. I wanted him to be a little more top heavy. If I were to do him again, I'd probably adjust his legs, make him a little bit thinner, physique, thin it down. But I do like that big guard around his head up there. And you need the backpack for that. This was a character that that I had back when I was playing the game on live. I didn't really finish the costume. I was trying to see what worked. I remember I used to use these boots and then that glove with a certain color palette, as you see here, on a lot of my characters. But with the other options that we have now, I was like, no, let me just do the higher resolution. Let me get the better face in there. Let me add some details, but I haven't really finished this one either. I do like the full one robotic arm look because it's asymmetrical, but not too much on this guy. Again, his physique is way too big. Changed him up a little bit there. Oh, so he has the backpack too. I never really played this one. This is actually like the first character I ran around with, but he was full like celestial armor, and everybody has that, but I didn't know at the time. I just was like, oh, he looks awesome, but I see way too many people who look similar. No way. Change it up. I try not to use the same costume piece too much anymore in one character. I just use it like 10 times here on the same guy. But this would be the Batman piece. I think if we were to do black with like a gold outline or vice versa, I think that looks more like the bat symbol. I think that was just like a random version as I was working on it. Oh, that's horrible. Oh, look at this gross. Why did I save that? I think I was in a rush and I was like, oh, I got the arm. It's horrible. I don't know why this one's... I think I was trying to save the costume at one point, but I messed it up. We saw that one already. Some of my other supergroup costumes. Here is when my first made my character, my Peacebringer, and he had big gloves, and his ID card said something along the lines of like, the school said he would never graduate. His mom said he could do whatever, or no, Statesman said he could do whatever he wanted, and his mom said, don't forget your gloves and vest. I changed him up a little bit later, but I got a lot of compliments, and I thought it was really fun to play a character. It was big and funny like him. Another changed up version, more Statesman, because his name was Statesman Pal. That's Statesman's Pal Jimmy, that's where the SP comes from in my name. I didn't really use this one very much, but I tried to brighten up the colors, make it more fun. I think after this, I went to like a more serious version, so this was like the next version after that, and I was like, okay, I like the vest, I like the shoulders, I like the gloves. I changed these up because they match too well. I guess rubber boots is a Valkyrie from the Deathstroke costume, and then the faceplate here though, I had to change that up, and I think I do in the next one here. Boom, and I go for more of the Zeus look versus a custom helmet that I was trying to make. But you can have like the full Statesman face mask, just the face mask now. I think they added it because I don't remember being able to do that in live. You might have been able to. If I were to do this guy again, I'd probably put that actual face mask and give him some better hair or something like that, or maybe a different mask around. I see a lot of people using this helmet. I didn't really make any changes to it either. I like the short cape on him. Short cape and orange vest, always. This was a test with no vest. I didn't like it, so I went back to using it, and I think the next one here is the same costume, but with the vest. But you can see I made a little bit more custom of a helmet there. But I saw some other people making a very similar helmet, and I was like, okay, no, I don't want to be just looking like every other Statesman's character. But I got some screenshots with different people. Statespot. This was what I was just messing around with to get a kind of a generic character I could make at any time. Changed him up, robotic arm, insect, which we see later turned into the insect of the bottom of the shark with the fins. So this is one of my starters. Everyone uses that face, so I didn't use it as much anymore. Same without the aura. This was my Red Hood guy that I tried. I made him a villain, so I gave him a villain costume for the day while I got my patron powers. And you can see he saw the Vanguard on the back here. I think I changed up his helmet to be a little bit more menacing. And this helmet actually comes with a gray that's stuck in there, so I changed up the gray into the costume a little bit more so that it actually had 3 colors in the helmet. And you can see a lot of my costumes, I try to do 3, if not maybe 4 colors if I can. Here's my original Red Hood that we haven't seen yet. No spikes on the boots. No spikes on the shoulders, little off color on the belt down there. I think I changed that to match the vest at one point. Still got the body armor and that helmet that everybody uses. Changed him up a little bit. You see the little difference there. Shoulders, color palette. Took me a few days. I made the Riddler. Never played him very much. Ew, even his cigarette's green. Weird. I didn't know you could change the color of that. I never played him. I'd probably go back and finish him up with a lot more detail. This was my first butt cape for one of my mains, SP Jimmy, with the back there. Oh, I noticed now that the cape actually is not matching on the inside as it was on the outside. Oh, that might have been why I got rid of it. Got the hood down for more effects and details I could add to his face later on. Tried to change it up with his shoulders, gave him the little gold necklace that we see here. I think I got rid of that belt later too. Here's Superboy. One of my favorite comic runs is like the 90s Superboy when he's the protector of Hawaii, so I tried to go for that. This is one of the early runs of that, and I actually didn't really get him perfect, so I think I changed him up. That's much better. So this was like 1 or 2 costume iterations where I went from this, and then I called it for the day, and I was like, okay, let me save that. I'll come back to work on it. And then I changed up his physique a bit, added some more details, looked at the picture again, changed his aura. I think it looks a lot better. Now, I don't play that one anymore because I played him so much with my original guys, but I would definitely reduce his physique. I don't like his thighs are too big there. This was my original Spine's Fire, the Texas T-Horn. I used this as like the base costume, just the Minotaur. I had to get in there quick, and then I think I changed it up later on as well. I went for the old moo cow face that we had to do before we had the Minotaur heads, and he has flies around him. He's got the jeans that everybody's wearing and cowboy boots. I like this. This is the one I actually use when I go farming. A little extra detail with the neck tie right there for a chest decal. I'm not skipping these. I just wanted to show the difference between where the cows went. Here's my other tech cowboy, my Amish cyborg. I brought him up. I didn't use this one very much. I didn't really like it. I just wanted to make him look a little bit different. Yeah, those are the 2 versions of him right there. So we saw the human form. This was my like 2nd or 3rd iteration of the Minotaur build that I was doing. With the tail, without the tail. You always want to mix it up a little bit in between and find something that looks appealing or doesn't go stale on you. I made the torso because I didn't even get to play him that much. I thought of another one you could do where maybe you cover the torso, but he has just like an arm showing, and he could be the arm, or the legs, with that if you had a different like clockwork torso. I thought you could do all the body parts, and that would be funny. But this is I don't know what I was messing around with here. Oh, I had a guy named No Abdoman back on live, and there was a glitch you could do with the flak jacket where if you hit reset or something while the color palettes were both black, it would actually make his chest go invisible. So I had the opposite of this. His name was No Abdoman. That was fun. Alright, last 3 here. Now these I got to play a little bit. This is my Pee Wee Herman Zim crossover that I put together. Controlling Minds, got the little bow tie there. A little bit basic, so I did. This is, I think we saw this one earlier. Sort of the Mr. Rogers version of that. And here's sort of the combination of the 2 that I think I eventually went with. The high socks and everything. Well, thank you guys. And actually, I changed his face up here a lot too. I like all the details and extra stuff you can add. It looks so cool. Thank you guys for joining me. My name is SP Jimmy. If you like the costumes or you think they were horrible, let me know. And remember, I want to see your costumes as well. Love talking about this stuff with you guys. And if you enjoyed the videos, please send me a like and a subscribe. And if you want to leave a comment or anything like that, I would appreciate it. But it's not required. And I'm starting to ramble, but I want to show kind of my active costume again one more time. And I guess I will see you guys in a little bit. Bye.